In 2012, I doubled my income, and honestly, I thought our money worries were over. Instead, within a couple of years, we had a bigger mortgage, a nicer car, more monthly payments, and I felt more anxious than before. It took me 25 years of investing, losing my life savings, and making almost every money mistake imaginable to realise this. Income doesn't make you wealthy, assets do. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 habits that stopped me from building wealth, even when I was earning really good money. And if you're working hard but still don't feel financially secure, this video is for you. Habit 1. Lifestyle creep quietly steals every pay rise. If I could go back to 2012 and change one thing, it wouldn't be asking for a bigger pay rise. It would be avoiding what happened afterwards. Because I never sat down one Saturday morning and decided I'm going to waste all this extra money. My wife did, Mrs. Team YOLO. But seriously though, nobody intends to go out and spend all their money. For us, it happened one decision at a time. We got the bigger house with the much bigger mortgage because apparently our kitchen was too small in our 3-bed semi. We both got new cars, more holidays, and the holidays became a little bit nicer. My wife and our friends tried to wind me up about being a bit of a snob with holidays and how I want 5-star hotels for 2-star prices. Yes, I am a bit of a snob and I am tight as a duck's ass. Anyway, we ate out a lot more. The monthly subscriptions snowballed over time. But to be fair, everything felt manageable. And that's exactly why lifestyle creep is so dangerous. No individual decision looks stupid. So going back to 2012, my income had doubled, yes, but my investing didn't. I wasn't thinking about my SIP or my ISA. I didn't invest into any more properties in this period. The only thing that really grew was our lifestyle. This unfortunately happens all the time here in the UK. I even know people earning £100,000 plus who still live month to month. When your income increases, you've got 2 choices. You can upgrade your lifestyle creep, or you can upgrade your future. Most people choose the first one. Habit 2, waiting for the perfect time to invest. This one cost me years. Not because I made bad investments, because I didn't make enough investments. Well, to be honest, I didn't really invest at all into any assets between 2008 and 2018. This was partly due to the financial crisis of 2008 and the fact that it turned me into an anxious wreck around money and investing. But it was also down to poor emotional intelligence and a complete lack of financial education. For us as a family, there was always a reason not to invest. Like the fact that my better half, my wife, didn't understand why investing is so important and had zero interest in learning. When I got my big break work-wise back in 2012, I even promised myself I would start buying rental properties again. But I was waiting until I had £100,000 saved. Basically, my mentality was at the time, I'll wait until I've got more money or I'll wait until the markets settle down. I'll start when I get onto my next job, my next project as a contractor. I'll start next year. Does any of that sound familiar? Personally, I was very good at making excuses during what I now call my negative decade. And I was a bit of a dark cloud if I'm being totally honest. On a more positive note, since getting into personal development in 2018 and 2019 and taking financial education a lot more serious, things have been much better for me over the last few years, last 6 to 7 years. Financially, things have improved and even my mindset is much improved, much more positive. Looking back over the years, before 2019, I was always negative around money, always anxious. Here's what I didn't understand back then. The market doesn't care that you're waiting. Compound interest doesn't pause because life feels busy. Time keeps moving, whether you're invested or not. I just wish someone had given me a copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad or a similar book back when I was 18, because I would have invested in a global index funds or similar, and I would now have well over £600,000 invested as a 43-year-old just from index funds, never mind property and any other assets. Before we get to habit 3, I want to offer you one-to-one support. If you need it, you can join my private investing community on School, where I help normal people, busy professionals, to build long-term wealth with investing, and the link can be found below. Habit 3, saving money instead of building wealth. This isn't just an individual problem, by the way, it's a problem for the UK as a whole, because we are a nation of savers, not investors. This one is dangerous because it feels like you're doing the right thing. Between me and my wife, we had around £70,000 in premium bonds, 4 years. Very similar, in my opinion, to holding cash or having your money in a savings account. So why did we go with premium bonds? Because it felt safe, sensible, responsible, no risk, no stress. And if I'm being totally honest, again, I was convinced we'd win £1 million. But here's what was actually happening. We were earning less than 1% per year on average. Meanwhile, inflation was quietly eating away at that money. Inflation is bad, really bad. And if you honestly don't understand it, I would highly recommend you take the time to at least Google it so you have a bit of an understanding, a bit of an idea. So, why this is common? Because people confuse no volatility with no risk. The lesson, cash feels safe, savings feels safe, but long term, it's one of the riskiest places to keep your money. Having cash savings is important up to a certain point, or certain amount, should I say. Life happens, cars break down, boilers fail. People sometimes lose their jobs, unfortunately. So yes, have an emergency fund. But once you have a few months' living expenses in a savings account, it's time to focus on investing, in my opinion. But the vast majority don't and prefer to save all or most of their spare money. To learn from this mistake, all you've got to do is invest into assets. I wouldn't tell you what to invest into, and as always, this isn't financial advice. I'm just someone who genuinely cares because I know what it feels like to live month to month. And growing up in a council estate, I know what it's like to be constantly anxious about money, as I said earlier. Habit 4, not using the UK's wealth building tools. One of the biggest advantages we have here in the UK is that the government actually gives us some really good tax efficient ways to build wealth. The strange thing is, millions of people barely use them, probably because they don't understand how important investing actually is. When I first started investing, I didn't really understand ISAs, even though I invested £500 a month into my stocks and shares ISA as a clueless 18-year-old. I didn't understand pensions properly, other than parents and grandparents whinging about them and whinging about money in general. When I was a kid, I didn't understand how valuable tax relief could be over decades. I just knew I needed to invest to help me to get out of the rat race, even from an early age. So I focused on rental properties, and I actually bought my first rental property at 19 years old. Now, to use my daughters as an example, I was talking about in great detail in my last video, all they've got to do is invest £100 a month into their stocks and shares ISA up until they're around 40. Now, if they can do that, they'll end up with roughly £226,000. We all know the tax system is unfair. Well, I think it is anyway. So by using ISAs and SIPs and even workplace pensions, if that applies to you, we're able to build wealth tax-free, which is huge. I even know someone, a former colleague, who's maxed his ISA out over the last 11 years. He's invested aggressively into his SIP and he's now sat on just over £1 million. Here's the way I think now in my early 40s. My SIP looks after older me, old Pete. My ISAs look after future flexibility. My investments build options together. They build freedom. Not overnight, not next year, but gradually, quietly. And that's something I think our society has forgotten. Everyone wants financial freedom. Almost nobody wants the boring process that actually creates it, because the boring process doesn't make headlines. Nobody gets excited about another monthly ISA contribution. Nobody brags about increasing pension contributions. Nobody posts over on Instagram because they bought another global index fund. But those tiny decisions, repeated hundreds of times over the years, eventually become something really special. Habit 5, chasing quick, easy money. Like chasing big wins instead of the first £100,000. Like me when I lost our life savings back in 2011, or when I got into crypto in 2017. There are loads of examples I could use of me chasing quick, easy money. And if you'd have asked me 20 years ago what wealth looked like, I'd probably have said becoming a millionaire. That sounded like success. But today, I think very differently. Because I've learned something that Charlie Munger once described perfectly. The first 100,000 is the hardest, but it's got to be done. Now, we do talk about 100k invested quite a lot on this channel because it helps me to drive home the importance of compound interest. For years, investing feels frustratingly slow. You put money away every single month. You make sacrifices like working away from home, working the weekends. You stay consistent every single month and it feels like nothing is happening. When you've got 10,000 invested, a 10% return earns you around 1,000, which is okay, but not life-changing. Then something a bit more powerful happens. at 100,000 invested. A 10% return in a given year becomes 10,000. So your 100k becomes £110,000. All of a sudden, your investments are producing serious money. At 200,000, that becomes 20,000 in interest earned. At 500,000, it's 50,000 earned for doing pretty much nothing. So don't choose the easy options and listen to the crypto bros on TikTok who couldn't give a toss about you or your financial future. Focus on long-term investing and that first 100k. The thing is, nobody accidentally becomes wealthy. They simply keep buying assets long after everyone else gets bored. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned in 25 years, building wealth isn't complicated. It's simple. It's repetitive. It's almost boring. But boring, done consistently, becomes extraordinary in time. It leads to either retirement or financial freedom, whatever your big goals are financially. If you were just starting to invest and you want to know 3 different ways to get your first 100k invested, see below for a recent video. The lesson it took me 25 years to learn. Sometimes people ask me, if you could go back and speak to your younger self, what would you say? I don't think I'd tell him which stocks to buy. I wouldn't tell him to buy Bitcoin. Well, maybe back in 2012, I would have. I wouldn't tell him to work harder. I would simply say this: don't confuse income with wealth. They're not the same thing. Income pays your bills, assets buy you freedom. The sooner you understand that, the easier your life becomes over time. Because here's what happened after 2012. Eventually I stopped chasing a bigger lifestyle. I started chasing bigger assets. Well, I did after 2018 when I started to set goals. When I started to read books like Think and Grow Rich. I learned all about index funds. I understood the power of ISAs. I took pensions seriously. I stopped trying to look successful. I started trying to become financially secure. And slowly, almost quietly, everything's changed. Not overnight, not in 12 months, not because I found some magic investment, because I finally built a system, one that kept buying assets, whether I felt motivated or not, one that kept working while I was asleep, one that slowly reduced the gap between the life I had and the freedom I wanted. Today, I've built 6 figures across multiple asset classes, not because I'm smarter than anyone else, definitely not. Not because I learned the most, definitely not because I avoided mistakes. If anything, it's because I made so many mistakes that I eventually had no choice but to learn from them. I lost my life savings, I doubled my income, and still managed to stay financially stressed. I've lived through every mistake I talk about today on this channel, which is exactly why I know they're fixable. Now, if you're serious about investing and want to learn, type book below and I'll send you my top 5 investing books after reading literally 300 to 400 books over the last 6 to 7 years. Or you can see below in the description to get a free copy of my first investing book, Learn the Hard Way, Teach the Easy Way, written around 2020 and goes into pretty much what not to do with money. Summary. If you've watched this far, I want you to remember this one thing. You don't need to earn twice as much. You don't need the perfect investment. You don't need to become a financial expert. You simply need better habits than you currently have, than you had yesterday. If you can avoid lifestyle creep, invest consistently, use your ISA and pension properly, focus on owning assets, build towards your first £100,000 and automate the entire process, you will be shocked where you are in 5, maybe 6 years from now. Because financial freedom rarely arrives all at once. It arrives quietly. One contribution, one investment, one good decision at a time. Now, this is just a little bit of what I've learned over the last 20 odd years, 25 years as an investor. If you want everything, see below for a 50-minute video that will help you out massively, in my humble opinion, with investing, with simple investing.